learning targets in unpacking. It's called unpacking the standard, okay? So it's very short, okay, and I will give you just an example. First, what I did is I made this is the statistics, the state totals. I did this in 2017, during year 2017. And I based my standard, what I found, based on my Math for College Readiness, my class, at the beginning of the year. So my class at that time was 26, now there are more. So this is 2017 figures. So this is the state totals, and this is the percentage level 3 or above. And here is Broward. They were 82%, having percentage 3 and above. And this is our school. It was 42% in 2017. And I analyzed my class regarding their EOC when they took it in 2017, Algebra 1. So I realized that the difference between the school and the district is about 40%.
82% of the Broward
Yeah,
students passed with
yeah.
higher?
Yeah, that was it differs from year to year. So this was in 2017.
Oh my God, I found that
Yeah.
unbelievable.
So I also analyzed the school during all the years. Same EOC, Algebra 1. So in 2014, 2015, that was the percentage. It got much lower in 2015. And then it got up high in 2016. And then back to 41.8, which is 42% approximately. And in 2018, a little bit went lower.
Is this
But yes.
geometry and algebra one?
No. This is only Algebra 1. This is only Algebra 1.
Is this
So,
And that's the district, right?
yeah, and you want me to go
Yeah.
back? Yeah, that's the district.
So,
That's the district. The district is here. Okay, that's in only 1 year. This one. Okay.
Hey, Doctor, what year is
So-
that? What year is that right there?
2017.
You don't have
This is
2018?
based only. No,
Okay,
I analyzed the school as a whole during the years.
thank you.
Yeah, this year. So let me go here. So this is the school during these years.
Right.
Okay? So this is, as you can see, the percentages. Okay? So I analyzed my class again. So I gave them the test in Algebra 1 and analyzing the standard. So I found this standard. This standard is MAFS SCED 1.2, which is create equations in 2 or more variables to represent relationships between quantities, graph equations of coordinates, axes, and labels, and the scales. Okay? So how to solve linear equations in 2 variables. So I discovered that most of them, they know how to identify the quantities in real world situation, okay? With its variables, they know the variables. And I found out that they also can write the equations in a real world situation. What they were missing at the beginning, this was at the beginning of the year. Now they are more proficient than this. So most of them, they didn't know how to graph, only 54% how to graph the linear equations and to solve it, okay, and providing steps was, not everyone is providing steps, and I always tell them, the steps, when you do the steps, you will not do an error when you do steps. So steps are very important, and I give grades for steps. So this was, as you can see, everyone, so I tried to change these learning targets by making reassess. So I reteach this and I reassess this. So, and I put a SMART goal for my class. So I said at the end of the school year, 93% will be proficient in providing steps, which is very important, to solve and graph systems, not only for linear equations, but also for inequalities, because both of them, I tell them how to graph inequalities and to shade the inequality, okay, and find solutions of inequalities. So, I want to give you an example how to unpack the standard. So unpacking the standards, first they target, which is just the definitions, the variables and everything. And then the reasoning target, making irrelevant relationships between quantities. This is very important. They all know this, okay? Then, before the disposition is the last thing, I'm assessing the performance skill. Performance skill is how to translate a word problem, how to extract the variables and the information and write the two equations in the two variables. So this is very important. And I gave them an example. And then the product target, which we, as a math teachers here, we don't assess the product target, which is making a presentation of two equations in real life system. So I gave them another example so that they can find real life situations. So I want to tell you what type of So let's see this. I gave them this example. So let's say they are getting married, right? So you want to compare between two venues to get married. So you are comparing between a courtyard villa. Let's say you are a wedding planner and you are competing with other wedding planners. So there is a courtyard villa and Mediterranean villa. And everyone has initial cost, and then you have a price per person for food, okay? So how to translate this word problems into real equation? So you put the equation like this, because this is a courtyard villa, this is the initial cost, and then you put X, so X here means the number of guests you are having, okay? And Y will be the total cost. So you put the two equations in two unknowns like this, okay? So you make it interesting for them. Then you try to solve by graphing, by putting. So here what you find is when you graph any two linear equations, you find the solution. What does this solution mean? So what does it mean that I have 140? So you have the x-axis is the number of people, the number of guests, and here is my cost, okay? So you have the same cost for both venues. So depending on your budget, okay, which one you're gonna choose? So you're gonna choose which one? So you have to do an interpretation. If you invite 140 people, then to this wedding, then the cost will be the same. But if you are inviting less than 140 people, then you would go with the Mediterranean because it would be less expensive. But if you are inviting more,
Right.
so right?
Right.
So this is what I explained to my students, how to do it and to choose. So this was an example. Let me go back to the learning targets. So as I said, this is the performance. This is the performance skill target based on what you saw. How do I translate the word problem? Okay, if it's a wedding, it can be any other real life situation, and you translate it you interpret it into two equations like this. A product target is another way of unpacking the standard. Is when you yourself you are interested. It's not a wedding, so you can choose any other things, like for example you are buying bikes from two different stores, so you are comparing, or you are renting something, so you can come up as a student, you can tell them, come up and you can work as a team and make a presentation having same different things like this. Now, how to assess and how to match the assessment to each learning target of this. I didn't explain the disposition, which is the last target here. I want the students to make a survey to ask them, are you confident equations like this, because if you do this example, this simple example, and you can do another example and you understand it, will you be more confident? So that this position assessment, we rarely assess. We rarely make a survey and ask our students, how do they think? How do they engage? So this will be another type for assessment. And so the assessment type for the targets, the knowledge, selected response, which is a multiple choice, basically. And, the performance, let me do it with the,
No, it's big one.
yeah. The performance and the product. I just want to give you just one example of the performance skill. So the performance skill is called grasp. So the goal, I will tell you, your goal is to select the wedding venue with the number of guests. So this is my goal. So every two equations in two unknowns has a different goal. So for this specific example, it's the wedding venue. So your role, you are the wedding planner. And you are trying to find the best option for the wedding venue and choose the wedding place for the couple. Who's the audience? The couples to be wed are the audience for this, okay? And the situation, you are competing with other wedding planners, okay? Because you want to select the best place, the best venue. And the product is, you will create a PowerPoint presentation for this wedding to show which option the couple will choose, and then you will find, you solve the two equations and you will find the point of intersection, which is based on the allocated budget. Will you have guests more than 140 or less than 140 guests? Okay? So the assessment, let's go back to the assessment types. So the grasp, the performance skill is based on the example I gave them. The product target is they create their own venue, right? It's not a wedding, it can be any other real life situation, okay? So the knowledge targets is selected response. And the last one is the product target, which should be a PowerPoint presentation. And the disposition is, I ask them about their interest, their motivation, because I need to motivate them to be confident. Confidence is very important. So I need to communicate with them, or I give them a survey, okay, to understand how much they are confident now in solving equations. And my information, I got it from CPALS. Here it is. So I found this standard, and they explain here everything. They have 7 formative assessments for this one standard, and they have everything. So every teacher has their own, depending on their class. When they do any assessment, they can easily find which standard they need to reteach or reassess based on the assessment, okay? And then you want to reteach this standard specifically, or any standard based on, can be in geometry, it can be in algebra, it can be in anything. Which standard they lack, or they need more to be more proficient in it, okay? So you do the unpacking of this standard into learning targets, and then reteach and reassess again to see if they have. And please, the disposition, I know that nobody is doing surveys and communicating with students about this disposition, but I think this is more applicable to literature more than mathematics. But I just wanted to share this with you. Thank you.